Good day, Earth viewers. I'm Oma from O.D.A. TV. Join me as I give you today's top news. Thanks.
What you're seeing behind me is the destructive power of an Iranian ballistic missile, the rubble of a synagogue that used to be in this area. At least 9 people were killed as a result of this attack. Many of them, it appears, were in a bomb shelter beneath that synagogue. But because it took a direct hit, it appears that that bomb shelter caved in, resulting in this absolutely tragic incident. You can also see the damage that has been wrought to several of these residential homes that were around this small synagogue here in the city of Bet Shemesh on the outskirts of Jerusalem. And this is so far the deadliest missile strike that we have seen from Iran since this conflict erupted yesterday after Israel and the United States attacked Iran, and Iran began retaliating with ballistic missiles as well as drones aimed here in Israel as well as at U.S. military bases and other cities in the Gulf as well. And so we are continuing to see Iran firing missiles. Many of them are being intercepted, but you can see what happens when even just one of them makes it through.
Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has authorized for the first time the kingdom to strike back at Iran if necessary. He's called Iran's attacks on Saudi Arabia cowardly. They've tried to hit close to Riyadh. They've tried to hit further in the east of the country. He says it's cowardly because he says Iran knew that Saudi airspace was not being used to strike Iran. And for that reason, he says, the country is going to take all measures necessary to defend its security, protect its territory, its citizens and its residents, all the way up to the point, he says, where he is authorizing force to be used, a response to be used against the potential of Iranian aggression. He's had a phone conversation with President Trump. According to the Saudi readout of that call, the US president has given support to Saudi Arabia for whatever it does. He's reached out to leaders in this Gulf region who have been attacked worse than Saudi Arabia. The road here, traffic's pretty busy. People are worried in Saudi Arabia about what's happening, but by far not as affected as some of his neighboring countries, is offering them full support as well. Concern in this region is going up.
Anytime there's war in the Middle East, there's a risk of an energy price spike that crushes the economy. The Middle East is the most important region in the world for the supply of energy. Saudi Arabia is the world's leading oil exporter. Now, one of the big concerns is always whether or not there's going to be some sort of a disruption of the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. That's the narrow waterway right off the coast of Iran, where about 1/5 of the world's oil consumption flows through each day. And a sustained shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, that would certainly drive up oil prices, and that would make prices, gasoline in the US and around the world, skyrocket. There's also always the risk of an attack on oil production facilities, especially the ones in Saudi Arabia. But as always, the question is, how long would any supply disruption last? And what, if anything, can be done to offset it? But look, the cost of living is way too high right now, and the last thing the economy needs is an energy crisis.
The anchor weeps on Iranian state TV, announcing the death of Iran's supreme leader. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in his office, says Fars News, by the joint U.S.-Israeli bombardment of the country. The Iranian government has declared 40 days of mourning, while the military is vowing revenge. Khamenei ruled Iran for 36 years. He used deadly force at home to crush periodic popular uprisings and nurtured a network of militias across the Middle East that challenged U.S. and Israeli ambitions throughout the region. Khamenei survived an assassination attempt in 1981 that left his right arm paralyzed. In the run-up to this weekend's strikes, he reportedly prepared a line of succession in the event of his death. Pro-regime supporters have already gathered in the streets of some Iranian cities to mourn their leader. But his killing has also been celebrated in other parts of Iran, as well as Syria, and among members of the vast Iranian diaspora scattered around the world.
Super happy! Never happy in my life now! It's my best ever in my life!
We're in North London in this area that is home to a large Iranian community. And, you know, it's past 11 o'clock at night here, and this is a major street party.
Actually, I can say one word, bittersweet. I'm gonna say I'm happy the dictator is out, and it's kind of like a beginning of the end now. It's gonna be peace for the world, peace for the Middle East.
I couldn't believe it on the news. I was like, is it really happening? Is he dead? Is he really dead? I cried so much at home.
I mean, you look around here and you see all these flags. You've got the flag of Iran under the monarchy, under the Shah, the lion and sun flag. You've got the Israeli and American flags as well, people waving those. And we had people coming up telling us, thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Bibi Netanyahu.
Moments after this crowd learned about the death of Supreme Leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, they erupted in cheers. There were tears of joy. There were people hugging each other, saying that this is the very moment they've been waiting for 47 years. We're shown photos of the people that were allegedly killed by the regime. There were people here holding those photos and saying that this day is for them. One name that has come out time and again out of people's mouths here in Los Angeles is Reza Pahlavi. He is the son of the Shah, what they call the Crown Prince of Iran. These people here want to see Pahlavi back to Iran to take power and lead a temporary government and then hold a referendum in Iran for how it wants to move forward. They see this as a very important, a pivotal moment for Iran, hence the celebration. Now, there is a variety of opinions here. Some people calling for making Iran great again. Some people with photos of Pahlavi in these protests. Some of it, though, are people who just say they are thankful for President Trump for leading these strikes in Iran, saying that this is what Iran needed for a change, for a new revolution in Iran.
Everybody is saying this is the only time in the last 47 years where we actually have an opportunity to overthrow the Iranian government.
Now we're seeing a lot of Trump flags, President Trump being thanked by name here in this crowd. But some people are even Democratic voters who are praising the president, saying that they were disappointed with how Democrats had handled the relations with Iran in the past, and that this is the one opportunity that this generation will get for a regime change.
I was in contact with, my colleagues in the Persian Gulf, and I explained for them that, we have no intention to attack them, but we are actually attacking the American bases in the act of self-defense.
I think it was interesting that he talked about the effort to reach out to the Gulf states and tell them that Iran was simply attacking American bases. I think this was a very foolish mistake by Iran. Iran makes these mistakes all the time in its negotiations, in its dealings with its neighbors. I've often found that one is surprised at how clumsy they are. They should never have attacked the Gulf states, in particular Saudi Arabia. The Gulf states had made clear they did not want any part of this military operation. They had said bases couldn't be used. Some of them had said airspace can't be used. They had privately counseled President Trump not to do this attack. What the Iranians should have done was driven a wedge between the United States and the Gulf states, and made clear that they did not view the Gulf states as responsible for this. Instead, by foolishly attacking the Gulf states, they have joined together those states. You've seen the UAE has made very strong statements. The Saudis, very importantly, made a very strong statement saying that they regarded the attack as outrageous and they were going to, in some way or the other, retaliate, or they supported any retaliation. So the Iranians have already misplayed.
This incident started with the calls for a male shooting at Buford's Bar on West 6th Street. Officers immediately transitioned, came over East 6th to West 6th Street, and were faced with the individual with the gun, and 3 of our officers returned fire, killing the suspect.
We received the call at 1:59 a.m. and within 57 seconds, the first paramedics and officers were on scene actively treating the patients. We had a total of 17 patients on the scene. 14 of those were transported to the hospital. 3 were pronounced dead on scene. Of the 14 patients who were transported to the hospital, 3 were in critical condition. And as I said, our condolences go out to everyone that was involved, and we'll be back with more information in the future.
President Trump didn't want to see Iran hitting back and pushing back. President Trump should have not started this war from the beginning. It was a war of choice. There was no necessity to start this aggression. That was act of aggression.
One of the things that we're seeing is that your forces are hitting a lot of targets in Gulf countries. Now, I know that the Gulf countries were involved in trying to prevent this war. Why are you doing that?
We are not attacking any neighbors that we do have. We did our best to make a rapprochement with them. They know that. We communicated with them either to shut down those American bases that are constantly threatening Iran and are constantly using to offend on Iran, or we have no option just to push back. We cannot reach out to American soil, so we have no option just to attack any bases which is under U.S. jurisdiction.
Who do you think that the successor to the Supreme Leader, to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, could be as the next Supreme Leader?
This is a very transcendental, if I can use this word, position. The position is not just political, it is religious, political, social, so it is not an easy job to find a person fit to that. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but the point is that there is no stop in governing the government or the society or the country. President Trump passed a very dangerous red line, and of course, as a national sovereign country, we have to react on that because, nationally speaking, he also passed.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.